Hey, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Raymond J. Negron. I'm a guide, and I'm here. And what I've been doing of lately is helping people discover what their dream business is, building the foundations, and helping double and actually 4x their revenue in the business within the first year. And I'm ecstatic that I've been doing this for quite a while now. But today, that's not what this is about. This is about a tool that I want to bring you guys that I've been using with my guests and clients that actually, when you do it right, it kind of gives you this kind of light, right? It kind of gives you this life force, it kind of gives you back energy instead of taking it away. And people don't realize how important energy is, right? Energy. And I even think, I forgot what the psychologist's name was, but I think it was maybe Freud. He talked about work and love were the two things that drove life. Now, one of my personal mentors, Brian Johnson, would say energy, work, and love, right? So if you don't have energy, it doesn't drive anything else, right? It can't pull the trigger on anything if you're just showing up to work and love and you're exhausted and you're just not showing up. You're not full. You're not certain. You don't have that energy. But the thing is we're self-indulgent creatures, and we move from a culture of self-sacrifice and self-discipline. I'm kind of reading from my notes here to one of pure, unfettered self-indulgence, where we kind of look at it as escapism every single day. We're bombarded with opportunity everywhere, like YouTube videos, your phone's buzzing. I would definitely advise shutting all your notifications off. I literally took all social media off my phone, and I only concentrate on two, which I'm using LinkedIn, I'm using YouTube, and that's it. Everything else is kind of on the kaputs. Once in a blue Facebook Live, but it's not often. I just do what I need to do, and I get off. But the thing is we're bombarded, and we gratify our desires, right? Like you hear obey or thirst, or and we do exactly that. We obey it instantly, and we don't question it. And when we don't question it, it leads us down a rabbit hole. I call it a rat hole, right? Because you're just competing with your lower self to even get lower, right? Because eventually, as you get older, you just lose more energy. You lose more sense of who you are and what you stand for. And you know, when we restrain our urges, right, and we try to use willpower, and sometimes, they do say willpower can be bought at the store, right, depending on what you buy and bring home. You're creating energy. And ways to create energy are sleep, right? Sleeping the amount of time, moving, exercising, yoga. It could be anything, right? Anything with movement, running. Excuse me, the way we breathe. I think breath is very important. It's energy, right? What else am I forgetting? The amount of water we drink, right? About drinking about a gallon a day, right? And self-care, really caring for ourselves and not overindulging on the things we do. But there's this exercise that I learned from Barry Michaels and Phil Stutz called the black sun. I actually term it the blue sun because blue is my favorite color. And I like blue, so I'm calling it the blue sun. And so this tool I've used with my guests, and I've used it for about 4 months now, right? And I've used it 2 months prior to that, so I've actually been using it 6 months. And it comes from a book called Coming Alive, right? Their second book. First book is called The Tools. Their second book is called Coming Alive. And this I got from Coming Alive. And this exercise teaches you, because we're such impulsive creatures that we're hungry. Let's just go get fast food. Let's just go get a cigarette. No, let's go just eat an ice cream. And we do these things, and then we realize they don't serve us, and we become slaves to ourselves. We become, we haven't become masters. We've been self-serving, self-indulgent, impulsive, without focus. Letting anyone get in our attention, anyone get in our atmosphere, and letting things rob us from our future. And I think it's very critical if we want to get anywhere in the world that we believe, right, that we believe that we're here to do more important work, is we need to use this tool. And I believe this tool is useful because of what it serves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. I'm going to draw it up on the board so you guys can see it, and then I'm going to explain it. But first, there's an acronym that they use to go over the tool, and it's deprivation, depriving yourself, right? It's kind of like starvation. It's a deprivation, right? Starvation, right? Can't have it, right? There's an emptiness, right? An emptiness, right? Feeling empty. And then there's a fullness. Fullness. I call it fulfillment, but it's fullness. And then there's G. There's the giving aspect of it. And I'm actually going to go on the board and write this, and I'll be right back. So awesome. I drew it up there so you guys can see it. And there's a higher channel and a lower channel, right? And the higher channel is your life force, so more energetic self that you have to offer to the world. And your lower channel, as you can see, it's in brown. Brown is the color of what? Is the lower channel. And what happens is when you do that thing, when you do that impulsivity, maybe eating the thing you don't want to do, going out late till all hours of the night, going on internet, whatever. Some people look at porn. Some people look at things that they shouldn't be looking at online. And then what happens is that lower energy just gets drained out of you, right? Literally, it goes downstairs, and what does it do? It literally takes away from you. This might as well be just a murk of brown stuff, right? Murk of just, ah. And what happens when you keep doing it, you keep reinforcing that habit. You keep reinforcing that cue, that trigger, that behavior, that cue, the trigger and behavior, and you're not replacing it with anything positive. So what happens when you could actually go north, right? Go to your North Star, do the thing that you need to do. You're going south. And what this tool does, what I like about this tool, and I'm going to explain in a minute, is when that energy goes down, it actually puts a block on it, right? It's represented by 4 bars across the bottom. And the energy, when you don't do the thing that you know you shouldn't do, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, right? When you don't do the thing that you need to do, what happens? That energy gets redirected back up, right? And that goes through the deprivation, emptiness, fullness, and giving. And it builds, and that energy builds mentally, right? Metaphorically inside of your mind. And then you create your own outcome. You create your own outcome. You create your own life force and higher energetic self by doing the thing that you need to do, right? So you got the higher channel in blue, right? Then you got the lower channel in brown. And part X, right? And I think how they use part X is like they represent part X as the devil or whatever it is, or the lower energetic self. And you know when you're vibrating at a lower energy, right? When you're vibrating from a lower state of mind, and maybe you're whining, complaining, and whatever it is for you, and you're not looking at your higher, more energetic, controlled, self-controlled, self-disciplined, prioritized self up into the person you need to be. And so looking at that, you can see what happens. When you don't do the thing that you normally do over and over, if you're influenced from your environment, if you're influenced because everybody's doing it, why shouldn't I? But that's where discipline comes in. That's where, when you do this exercise, this tool, right, you create discipline because you're giving yourself more energy and you're giving yourself more life force. So I'm going to explain it. There's deprivation, right? So it's like depriving yourself of that thing so intensely and you can't have it, right? You're kind of like starving yourself. Oh my God. But you imagine it so intensely, right? Whatever it is for you, maybe just, mentally you're eating. It could be if you're a cake nut and you're eating, oh my God, I'm trying to have this cake. I can't have it. I want it. And there's such an intensity and a want and a, whatever it is. And you're depriving yourself and you do it as intensely as possible, right? And maybe you see yourself having it as intensely as possible, but you're not doing it in the outside world. And that's the external world that's happening. And then the emptiness, and then you let go of that thing that after you do this a while, you'll know that that's the thing that's keeping me from getting what I want, the body I want, the person I want, whatever the thing is. And then there's a complete emptiness, like a void. And you look internally in yourself, And sometimes I'll close my eyes for a minute and I'll see this void, right? And it's not a void of anything. It's blackness, it's darkness. And it does have some speckled lights in there, right? But that's the emptiness. And I get calm around it. I said, you know what? It's not that bad, right? To just sit with that calmness, that void thing, right? And then I'm going into the fulfillment, right? Fulfilling. And what happens is the black sun exercise, I turn it into a blue sun. I see this little blue sun from the bottom, still kind of eclipsed because it has the darkness still over it. And as it gets higher and higher in my void-like being inside, it expands. And I do this thing where I can actually feel the energy of this blue sun emitting into me, like through every fiber of my being, from my toes all the way to my knees, all the way to my legs, all the way out through my eyes. I see myself kind of imploding, exploding with this blue light energy that doesn't hurt me or harm me. And then I go into the giving. And then it's a giving of limitless potential being out into the universe. It's all done in my imagination. And, you know, I'll read from their notes, I think, how they explain it, if I can find it. Yeah, the giving, it redirects. The thing is it redirects your attention to the outside world, to the giving world, to the goodness, to the life force that you have out into the world and into the universe. And the black sun energy will overflow, surging out of you as it enters the world. It becomes a pure white light of infinite giving. And right, white light is pure healing, right? I like using blue. I think blue is cool to me, so I use blue light, right? And I think that's very important for me. So when you use this tool, don't use it when you're already doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing, because then you'll form a habit around that as well. Start at something tiny, insignificant. Maybe you're a cracker head. You go home and eat crackers. I'm like, oh, I got to have crackers. I need something crunchy, you know, or whatever the thing is for you. And over time, you know, the key tip point, I'm going to read it from the book, is over time, you're filling yourself up from the inside out instead of the outside in. You don't need external validation for energy. You need internal validation, because you're the one who creates that energy. You're the one who gives that life force of energy out to the world, right? It'll change in time, but you have to keep doing it. You can't just not do it. And I did. I think month 4, I was like, yeah, I don't need this. And then all of a sudden I was like, yeah. I did a little relapsing, right? And the thing is I relapsed into that, and then I realized, like, no, again, that's the reason why I don't want to do it, because the whole next day, a little bit of hazy, I didn't sleep right. And my number one important thing is sleep. I love sleep. I love to wake up feeling energized and feeling good, and waking up and working out and getting a little bit of muscles in this whole world of uncertainty we're living in. But that's what, you know, people call part X, is an impulse, right? You got to be mindfully aware of that. You got to be mentally, you know, reframe the way you think. And I use this deprivation, emptiness, fullness, and giving, and I do a mental rehearsal of it, right? At first, you're going to have to like record it into a phone or write it step by step and understand the parts. They're kind of like carts of a train. I learned this from a book I read years ago by Stephen Levine called The Gradual Awakening, or Gradual Living, Gradual something. You guys know what I'm talking about. You got your readers out there. And the thing is I would compartmentalize this exercise because I knew it added value. It gave me more energy instead of taking the energy away, right? Putting me right there at the lower channel when I'm like, oh, right? And in time, this just gives you back the life force that you're born with. And if you find you still have low energy, maybe you need to check into that. Maybe you got to see how you're truly sleeping, what you're truly eating, how you're truly managing your energy, right? Are you creating your own anxiety? Are you creating your own stress around, thoughts, beliefs, right? Because thinking something and reality are two different things. And also the way you're drinking water. Did I drink enough water? Sometimes I don't, I got to check in and figure out those things. I always have a list in front of me of, okay, I did that, just to be mindfully aware. And again, that just comes with discipline. But this tool becomes a resource when you need it. When you need it the least, sometimes you need it the most. But when you practice it, you just get good at practicing it. You use it on little things. Then you can work it up gradually to the bigger things that aren't serving you. It could be you want to call an ex-girlfriend. I've been there. And, you know what it's going to bring you at first. It's going to feel good. And then all of a sudden, you're going to repeat a pattern again. But having this tool and being able to block, this tool causes the bars below, that energy to go down and then get redirected up into your higher self. Now, for me, it was instead of going on my phone and researching and having like 40 windows open on my phone because I need to do this, do that, do the other thing, just let it go, right? And I said, I'm just going to drink a glass of water, go right to bed. Man, the whole next day thanked me. The whole next day I was just more productive, more proactive, more prioritized. I woke up earlier. I wasn't groggy. I wasn't forcing myself because now I had an additional 2 hours, right? 2.5 hours sometimes, but whatever the thing is for you that's keeping you from getting what you want in this world could be used by this tool. And again, look at this framework, right? And you want to prevent that part X from taking over your life because most people around you, right, just get led by their addictions. They get led by these, their habits, but they're bad habits, and bad habits are addictions. We want to turn addictions into good habits. We want to get addicted to good things that serve us and that give us back, right? So again, going over this deprivation, emptiness, fullness, and giving, right? That limitless energy out into the world, right? Depriving yourself of the thing that you want intensely, so strong, so powerful that you can't have it, and letting it go, external world, reflecting internal into the emptiness, right? And seeing it, being calm and serene with it, being one with it, and knowing that there's a life force in you, and then the life force expands through the black sun or blue sun, and the light just penetrates you and out your eyes, out your ears, out your skin, every fiber of your being, and it's giving to the world, external. And if you guys could do this, definitely leave comments below. And follow if you're into this stuff, man, like I am. Because I know it serves the people that I serve, right? It serves my guests, it serves my clients, it serves my group coaching, and when it does this and it makes a difference in people's lives, not everybody does it in the group. There's only a few people, but when they do it and they're like, oh my God, that really works, it spreads. Oh, maybe I should do it. Yeah, maybe you should. You should try it. Why not try it? Try it out a few times. See if it works, right? And try it out for you, man. So again, I'm Raymond J. Negron. Beyond Failure to Reach Success. I'm a guide, and I'm here to help people move from where they are to where they want to go. And mainly I help people create a dream business, right? Build the foundations, and then help them to double exit and 4 exit in time. So let's do this. I hope that tool serves you. I hope it was helpful, and I hope it was giving, right? And I hope it gives you life because it's given me life. I wanted to share with you. Take care. Oh, and the name of the book that it comes from is called Coming Alive. Hold on. Let me get it. I have a marker in there. As you can tell, I've outlined the heck out of it. But Coming Alive by Barry Michaels and Phil Stutz. I'll put that at the bottom. Take care. Have a great day.